Hi, I'm Zachary Farnell. Thank you very much for joining me for another edition of your Timberlane weather update. And well, we're back. We're back from April vacation. We're back to school, and we're back to your regularly scheduled broadcast time. And as we get back to school, back from April vacation, and once again return to our normal lives, we're getting into some of that May time weather that we expect to see. Look at the Great Plains. You can see some major tornado outbreaks continuing over the next couple of weeks. We expect it to continue to be very stormy there, and it begins to rise in temperature across our area, finally getting into the 70s that we've been hoping for, and we got over April vacation, but it has since cooled down significantly. I mentioned that just a minute ago, that cool down across much of New England really actually has only been affecting us. You can see kind of this weird cool slot right across much of New Hampshire. That is associated with a batch of clouds we can see on satellite in a minute, but look at this wall of warmth. I mean, we are feeling the May time weather across much of the East Coast. This area reaching in the 70s, easily some 80s, and maybe in towards the south some 90s. But again, for us overnight, we saw some signs that it might warm up today. Much of the area only dropped to about the upper 40s, a few degrees lower than what we saw during the daytime yesterday, and today we finally saw those clouds move up to our north. Look at Maine. You can see again that stripe of cold air. We'll see that in, again, just one second, but the surge of warmth has moved into our area. We've broken through and we've reached the 60s, some 70s today, and on satellite, as I mentioned, here we finally are in towards Maine. You can see this stripe of clouds that has been keeping down temperatures across northern New England for days now. But the main story in terms of weather across the country, you can see the remnants of what was another severe weather outbreak across Texas and Oklahoma last night. Some major flooding in towards Texas will continue to ravage some of that area. We do get a short break in the severe weather, but look for that to resume next week. On the fronts map, you can see some of these thunderstorms persisting across the Great Plains. These areas expecting to see no respite from thunderstorms. Again, a short break in what could be tornadoes, but still continuing to see some big time thunderstorms across this area for us. Tomorrow, Friday, looks like a pretty nice day. Some 60s, maybe some low 60s, sadly, as we head away from the 70s for a couple of days and towards Saturday. Again, we see some of this ramping up of rain, getting a bit of foreshadowing for what we may see on Sunday. Once again, persistent thunderstorms in the south continue in towards Sunday when finally the rain does break through. Give us a nice day of rain before we finally shake off that pattern. We'll look towards what it may look like after we shake off that pattern next week. Here's your 5-day outlook. Again, tomorrow, Friday, look towards the low 60s, some upper to mid 50s over the weekend with some rain on Sunday. But again, finally, we shake that pattern. It's feeling like May next Monday and Tuesday, the mid 70s. The sun's out and we see some return to what we've been seeing over the last week, sadly. Some of those mid to low 60s, not the worst thing you've ever seen, but persistent clouds and showers over the next 5 to 10 days put a damper on what we may be looking at as a bit of a rainy time of the year instead of what we were hoping to see, which was a good amount of sunshine and warmth. Well, I'm Zachary Farnell. Thank you very much for joining me for your Timberlane weather update. Continue to look out for some severe thunderstorms and tornadoes across the Great Plains. If you have anyone that lives in that area, tell them to stay alert, because this is the time of the year where we see the most thunderstorms and tornadoes across the U.S., and especially the plains. This is peak tornado season, so it's not that surprising we've been seeing these outbreaks in general. Once again, thank you very much. I'm Zachary Farnell, signing off.